Okay, guys. Bit of a good news, bad news situation here. Bad news is I think we've reached a point in the list where things are feeling still a bit up in the air. Which is to say that I'm not exactly committed to what I have written down here. So I think what I'm going to do is just call an audible and move things around on the fly into the order that feels right to me in this moment. The good news is that you guys are going to get a double feature today. As you can see, 2 number slots in a single video. So kicking us off in our new and improved number 7 slot, we have Halloween H20. I really don't think I have much to say on this one. Obviously, my favorite thing about it is the development for Laurie's character and how she goes from somebody who is deeply burdened and afraid of her past, somebody that is trying to run from it as best she can and bury it. But then as the movie progresses, she gathers the courage to face it head on, face Michael one-on-one for what we are supposed to assume is the final time, and kind of put it all to rest once and for all. And honestly, I think if I would have made this list when I had initially gone through all of these and watched this movie for the first time, it would have been a little bit further up, because I really think this is a solid movie, a solid sequel. Like, it's perfectly fine. There's not much to pick apart here in my mind. My one and only problem with it is that for whatever reason, it just wasn't as fun to watch. I have all of the ability in the world to say this is a solid movie, this is great, I love this, but for whatever reason there's a disconnect, there's a misfire where it's just like, I'm just not having as much fun as I remember having the first time around. And I think, looking back or looking at everything as a whole, what makes this movie stand out as so solid in my brain is because it immediately follows all of the weirdness with the Thorn trilogy, which is a very take or leave sort of situation there. But we've left all that behind in favor of starting fresh in a timeline where this is a direct sequel to the original, so none of the other stuff exists. We're keeping it simple for simplicity's sake with the things that matter most in Halloween. We have Laurie, we have Michael, and that's really all we need. So, like I said, perfectly fine movie, perfectly fine sequel. I guess don't like it as much as I once did, or something's different now. I can't quite put my finger on it, but that is going to take us to number 6, which is Halloween 2018. Purely because I like what this movie does with Laurie's character a teensy bit more. I like the idea of her being the super paranoid Rambo with guns all over the place and traps set, waiting eagerly for the day that Michael comes back for her. And I like kind of the psychological toll that it takes on the family and kind of the rifts it causes where she genuinely believes this, she eats, breathes, and sleeps this, but then you have the daughter who is who was raised in all of that, the idea that we have to be ready for when he comes back, and so she's obviously disagrees with that stance in life, and is doing the best she can to protect her little family from it, her husband and her daughter, which I think is interesting. But the most intriguing thing that 2018 does, in my opinion, is again, we are in a timeline where this is a direct sequel to the original, so none of the other stuff is supposed to have happened. And in doing that, obviously, we are disregarding decades and decades of lore. But the weird thing is that this movie still feels like it's using it. It's still acknowledging kind of the fan base's knowledge of the legacy between Michael and Laurie, and really using that to build up, to strengthen and play around with the ultimate question of the movie, which is, okay, who is right here? Is Laurie right? And Michael is in fact coming back for her, and she's prepared, but nobody else is because nobody else believes her, and there's conflict there. Or is the family and everybody else right because she's just a crazy old lady with guns and whatnot, which is a very interesting thing to play around with. Obviously, the biggest letdown of the movie is that everything that I could say that's good about it is just mismanaged over the course of the rest of the trilogy. And I really think, it's brought down ultimately by its sequels. Every time I watch this, as much as I love it for the things that I love it for, I have to also like it a little bit less because I just know where it goes in the sequels, and I know where it ends up, to the point where everything that I like here ultimately isn't going to matter by the time I get through kills and get through ends. And it's just ends up to be a massive disappointment that is just kind of brought down by everything else around it. But that is going to wrap this video up, guys. So as always, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one.